Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to a new screencast lecture. Today's topic is the living Earth biosphere. First, let's discuss vocabulary and why it's important for you to know and understand different scientific terms. One thing that we should notice is that different groups use specialized vocabulary. Sometimes these specialized vocabulary terms are referred to as jargon. For example, you could say that someone is using medical jargon. You could say that a doctor or a nurse is using medical jargon. A doctor or a nurse may say something like cardiac arrest or pulmonary edema. If a medical person says that a pain is acute, that means that it is a condition that comes on suddenly. They may say something like acute appendicitis is a severe and sudden case of pain to the appendix. However, the word acute could mean something different to other people. Like, for example, to a math teacher, acute would mean an angle that is less than 90 degrees. To a boy band fan, they may say that this person is a cute member of the Backstreet Boys or whatever band you guys are into these days. So it's important to know that different groups may have different meanings for the same word. Different groups use specialized vocabulary, sometimes called jargon. Let's do another one. For example, let's think of the word ram. In your notes, identify at least 2 different ways that the word ram may be used, depending on what group of people is using the word. Take a minute to do that. Alright, imagine a farmer. If he says, "Bring me the ram," what do you think he's talking about? Well, the farmer's probably looking for a male sheep. What would an automobile salesman mean if he was asking for the ram? Bring me the ram. He's probably looking for some sort of car, like a Ram truck. What would a police SWAT team member mean if he asked, "Bring me the ram"? He's probably looking for something like this to break a door down. He's probably not looking for a male sheep. That would be bad. What would a professional football player mean if he was talking about a ram? Well, he might be thinking of the team like the St. Louis Rams, or he might be thinking about 2 football players ramming into each other. What would a computer technician mean if he said, "Bring me the ram"? Well, he's probably looking for something like this. He's probably looking for memory. Here's a 32 gigabyte RAM memory card. Fun fact, my first computer had 1K of memory, and I upgraded it to 16K of memory. If you know what that means, put it in the comment section. If you think you know what type of computer it was, you put that in the comment section too. We can see that words may mean many different things to different people, the exact same word. We will now discuss terminology as used by an ecologist. So now we're kind of getting to the point of this sciencey stuff. Let's start with a prefix. What does the prefix bio mean? Well, the prefix bio means life or living things. An easy way for you to remember this is to think of a biography. A biography is a story of somebody's life. The biosphere can be defined as the parts of the Earth that supports life. Biosphere, like atmosphere. Here's the Earth, and here's Mars. Clearly, they look very different. What factors make the Earth favorable to living things? Well, some of those things are that the Earth has suitable temperature. Not too hot, not too cold. The Earth has an atmosphere, and that atmosphere has good things like carbon dioxide and oxygen, both things that living things need. And the Earth has water. As far as we know, it's the only place that has water in both solid, liquid, and gas form. Pretty cool. Here's a photo of the planet Mercury. Let's think about Mercury. What are some things that make Mercury not a good place to live? For one, it's very, very close to the sun, so it gets really hot there. Too hot for us. Another thing is, since Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, it's really hot and it burned away any atmosphere, so Mercury has no atmosphere. And there's definitely no water on Mercury either. Same reasons. Too hot. Here's another vocabulary term. It's kind of hard for me to say. Vocabulary term. Ecosystem. All living and non-living things in an area, that makes up the ecosystem. Everything. What are some things that are part of this ecosystem? Well, take a look at the picture and give it some thought. Hopefully you came up with some answers like trees, grass. Those are living things. Some non-living things could be the rocks that you see, the water you see. You can see sunlight. And there's things here that you probably can't see that you're just going to assume is there, with like air, maybe bacteria, the temperature, so the thermal energy. All these things are part of this ecosystem. I have a clip for you. Here we go. I didn't say it right, did I? Here's a clip. Apparently I'm a meme.
An ecosystem is an area or region where living things interact with their surroundings. An ecosystem includes all the plants, animals, soil, water, air, temperatures, light, noise, and everything else, both living and non-living, with which an organism interacts. For example, this aquarium with fish is an ecosystem. Other examples of ecosystems include tropical rainforests, the sea, deserts, grasslands, polar regions, and cities. All the living and non-living things in an ecosystem are interdependent. That is, they depend on one another. An ecosystem can be as small as a tiny garden or as big as a jungle. What kind of ecosystem do you live in? Do you live on a farm, in a small village, or perhaps a city? What kinds of animals and plants live in your ecosystem? Depending on where you live, you may have described any one of a great number of ecosystems, along with animals and plants that you're familiar with. A forest is an ecosystem with a variety of living and non-living things. For a forest ecosystem, under living things, you might have listed such organisms as fruits, trees, birds, insects, and animals like foxes and deer. Under non-living things, you might have listed the soil, rocks, water, or dead trees. The living and non-living things in the forest all interact. For example, living things, trees and other plants, and birds and other animals all need water. And these living things recycle the water back to the environment. Living things interact with each other too. Deer eat grass and leaves and other vegetation. And the plants and animals all use water and are sheltered by trees. So the living and non-living things in this ecosystem interact and are interdependent. They depend on each other.
Let's take a look at another photo. What things are part of this ecosystem? Take a minute to identify a few. In your notes, identify 5 things that are part of this ecosystem. You may want to pause here. Hopefully you're successful coming up with 5 different things in the ecosystem. Make sure you have them down in your notes. And that's all for today, so we'll catch you next time, and we're going to take a look at ecological organization. See you next time. See ya!